Hello everyone, this is Divya working as assistant professor in EEE department at St. Peter's Engineering College. In the last classes, we seen about different concepts in the control system. So in the last class, I already discussed about the first order system and second order system analysis. So in this class, I want to discuss about the time domain specifications of the second order system. So here, to explain about the time domain specifications, I am considering a control system having a response like this. I am considering a second order control system with a unit step input with all the initial conditions as 0. Then the response of the system is here shown like this. So here up to this imaginary line, all the response given by the system is the transient response. After that imaginary line only, that means after the TS only, the output which is presenting, that will be the steady state response given by the control system, right? So here I am representing the output with C of t, and on y-axis I am representing with t, because with respect to time change only we have to draw the waveform. So on x-axis I am taking the time period t, and on y-axis I am considering it as C of t, and here the output in the transient state, that means in the transient response, the maximum output can be represented as C of t maximum, with which letter we are representing it with C of t maximum. And here this is the actual output which we have to obtain, that is 1. Okay, the actual output which we have to obtain, that will be considered as 1. Okay, and coming to the time domain specifications. So in the time domain specifications, we are dealing with the number of quantities. In that, the first one is delay time. So what is the definition of the delay time, and by using which letter we can represent the delay time? The delay time can be represented by using the letter td, that means small t suffix small d. The delay time can be represented by using td, and the delay time is the time required for the response to reach 50% of its final value in the first time. That means it is the time period to reach 50% of its final value at the first time. So the time required to reach 50% of its final value at first time is called as delay time. So here you can see it as, here the max, the final value is 1 we have to obtain. What is the 50% of 1? That is zero point 0.5. So that's why here I considered zero point 0.5. So to reach zero point 0.5 by this graph, what is the time required? That time is called as delay time. So here at zero point 0.5, I drawn an imaginary line to the graph. So from that point, I consider the projection to the x-axis, right? So now from origin to this projection, what is the time period existing? That time period can be represented as the delay time td. What is the delay time definition? The time required to reach 50% of its final value at the first time, right? So here only the first time the output is rising to its 50% of the final value. So up to this value, what is the time required by the system? That time is called as delay time. So that is represented with td. That's why here I represented the delay time with td. Okay, so this is about the delay time. And coming to the rise time, it is the time required for the response to rise from 0% to 90% of its final value for overdamped system, and for underdamped system it should be 0% to 100%. That means rise time is nothing but, for the overdamped system it is the time which is rise from 0% from 10% to 90%, and for overdamped system it is 10% to 90%. For underdamped system it should be the time which is considered for the rise of 0% to 100% of its final value. That means here the rise time can be represented with tr. That means 10% to 90% means from here to here, and from 0% to 100% means from here to here for the underdamped system. So here I am considering an underdamped system. So that's why here I am representing 0 to 100% as TR. That is the rise time. Okay. For the derivation of rise time, we already know that C of t is equal to 1 minus e power minus zeta omega n into t divided by under root of 1 minus zeta square sine of omega n root of 1 minus zeta square into t plus phi, right? Where phi is nothing but tan inverse of root of 1 minus zeta square by zeta. These equations we already seen earlier, right? And coming to the response which reaches 100% of the desired value, then put C of t is equal to 1. Why? Because the final value, that means the final output value is 1, which we taken in the diagram. So we have to substitute C of t is equal to 1. From that we can obtain the equation like this. So since e power minus zeta omega n into t should not be equal to 0, we have to consider the other term must be equal to 0, right? So if we have to equate this term equal to 0, in the place of 0 we can consider sine n pi. Why? Because in the place of n, if you substitute any values, then it will be 0. If I substitute sine pi, sine in the place of n, if I substitute 1, sine pi means that is 0. So now put n equal to 1. So from that I can obtain the equation for time response. That means rise time tr is equal to pi minus phi divided by omega n into root of 1 minus zeta square. That is the equation for rise time, right? So here we can obtain the equation as rise time tr is equal to pi minus phi divided by omega n into under root of 1 minus zeta square, where zeta is the damping ratio. From this equation, we already write it as pi minus tan inverse of under root of 1 minus zeta square divided by zeta divided by omega n into under root of 1 minus zeta square. Why? Because we already know the value of phi as tan inverse of under root of 1 minus zeta square by zeta. So this is the derivation for rise time TR. So next, coming to the peak time, which is represented with TP. Earlier, what are the times we discussed in this time domain analysis? So first of all, we discussed about the settling time, delay time, TD. And next we discussed about the rise time, TR. And next we are going with the peak time, TP. So the peak time is the time required for the response to reach the first peak of the time response of the first time, which is nothing but here in the graph. If you see, this is the first maximum peak which is reaching first time for the peak overshoot, right? That means this is the actual output we have to obtain. We are undergoing into peak overshoot. That is nothing but the output is greater than the required output. So here it can be called as the peak overshoot. This is represented by MP, which is nothing but the peak overshoot, maximum peak overshoot. After this peak, the peak overshoot is less when compared to the first peak overshoot. So here it can be considered as the maximum peak overshoot. So to reach the maximum peak overshoot from a minimum value, what is the time period we require? That time period is called as peak time. That is represented with small t suffix small p. That is the TP. So what is the definition for the peak time? The peak time is the time required for the response to reach the first peak of the time response or first peak overshoot. That is nothing but peak time. We already know that C of t is equal to 1 minus e power minus zeta omega n into t divided by under root of 1 minus zeta square into sine omega n into under root of 1 minus zeta square into t plus phi. We derived this equation earlier, right? So if you consider the maximum of the output, that means that should be equal to 0. Here the derivative must be equal to 0 to obtain the maximum of output, right? So dc of t divided by dt is equal to 0. That means the derivative of the total response of the system must be equal to 0 to obtain the maximum response of the system. So here by doing the derivation, the derivative of 1 is equal to 0 and the derivative of e power minus zeta omega n into t under root of 1 minus zeta square into this whole term you have to consider. For this equation, if we apply the derivative, we will get this equation, right? Here we have to consider u into v. We have to apply the derivative for uv. What is the derivative for uv? That is u dash v plus uv dash. We have to consider that equation, and in this also there exists a uv. So we have to apply that equation here, and by applying that equation we will get the derivative like this. So here e power minus zeta omega n into t, which is not equal to 0. So the equation can be written as, here I am writing the equation like this. So here zeta we can obtain as root of 1 minus zeta square equal to 5. So from this I can obtain it as zeta is equal to cos pi. So now the equation 2 becomes like this, right? And finally I can obtain the peak time Tp is equal to pi divided by omega n into under root of 1 minus zeta square. So under undershoot condition, the T minimum is equal to 2 pi divided by omega n into under root of 1 minus zeta square. So this is the formula for peak time. First of all, we discussed about delay time, and next we discussed with rise time, and next we discussed with peak time. What is meant by delay time? What is meant by delay time? So delay time is nothing but it is the time period which is required to reach 50% of its final value. What is meant by rise time? Rise time is nothing but it is the time period to reach 0 to 100% of its final value for a underdamped. For overdamped, it is 10 to 90% of its final value, right? What is meant by peak time? The time required to reach its maximum peak overshoot at first time is nothing but the peak time. Okay, these are the expressions we have to derive for the delay time, rise time and peak time. And next we will go with maximum peak overshoot, that is represented by MP. So here also we have to obtain the equation for maximum peak overshoot from the equations which we known earlier. So here this is the time response, that means total response of the system C of t. We know that equation, I considered that equation here, and I am substituting the peak time t is equal to Tp. Why? Because at maximum, we have to consider maximum peak overshoot. We will obtain the maximum peak overshoot at the peak time only. So here I have to consider t is equal to Tp. So in this equation I am substituting t is equal to Tp, and in the place of Tp I already obtain an equation pi divided by omega n into under root of 1 minus zeta square, right? So I am substituting this equation in the place of Tp. By substituting this equation in the place of Tp, I can obtain the equation like this, and by doing the cancellation finally I can get, by deriving all the equation, I can get C of t is equal to 1 plus e power minus zeta pi divided by root of 1 minus zeta square divided by root of 1 minus zeta square into sine phi. We know that sine of pi plus phi is equal to minus sine phi. From that I substituted this one, I obtained this one. I already know that sine phi is nothing but root of 1 minus zeta square, right? So here in the place of root of 1 minus zeta square, in the place of sine phi, I can substitute root of 1 minus zeta square, and these two are getting cancelled each other. So from that finally I can obtain it as C of t is equal to 1 plus e power minus zeta pi by root of 1 minus zeta square, and from this I can obtain the maximum peak overshoot MP is equal to C of t minus 1, right? This is the maximum peak overshoot, right? So MP is equal to C of t minus 1, right? So MP is equal to C of t minus 1. How we can obtain this one? By using the graph. Here you can say that MP is equal to C of t maximum minus 1. Is it right? Maximum peak overshoot is nothing but the overwhelming of the output voltage. That means from the graph only we can say it as C of t maximum is equal to MP plus 1. From that equation we can consider it as MP is equal to C of t maximum minus 1. So from that only I written MP is equal to C of t minus 1 here. So C of t equation we obtained here, substitute that equation in this. So finally I can get MP is equal to e power minus zeta pi divided by root of 1 minus zeta square. So from this I can obtain the percentage of maximum peak overshoot, which is equal to e power minus pi zeta divided by root of 1 minus zeta square into 100. So this is the maximum peak overshoot. So up to now what we obtained the derivation for delay time TD, and we obtained the derivation for rise time TR, and also for peak time. And coming to here, we obtained the derivation for maximum peak overshoot. So next we have to obtain the equation for the settling time. What is meant by settling time? The overall time which is required by the control system to maintain the system output as constant. The time which is required by the system to maintain a constant output, that time period is called as settling time, which is represented by Ts. So that a settling time can be defined as the time required for the transient response to reach and stay within the prescribed percentage error, which is nothing but settling time. Here the error can be represented by ESS. So here in this graph, I can represent from here to here, this is the settling time Ts. Why? Because after that only the output is constant. In the previous graph also, if you observe, this is the total settling time. After this one only the output is constant, right? So this can be called as the settling time. So this is about the settling time, right? So here the output reaches a constant value, and here the error is 2%. That means the steady state error is 2%, right? And here t is equal to 1 by zeta omega n. So this is about the time domain analysis of a second order system. Thank you.